We will start our webinar in about 2 minutes.
Okay, all ready. All set. I guess I should show my face. Oh God, I might scare people. Oh, okay. You cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
Let me see if I can change that.
Okay. I mean, either way, it's no big deal.
Okay, it should work now for you.
Oh gosh.
Okay, we're going to go live in
Okay.
a moment.
Hi, Diana.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I cannot complain. I woke up. That's half the battle.
I hear that.
Telling you. Thank you so much for doing this.
It's my pleasure, and thank you so much for inviting me to join.
Good. Beautiful.
Okay, well, let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to SCORE Fairfield County's webinar on Developing Strategic Partnerships, a Superpower for Small Businesses. I'm Peter Talion, the workshop coordinator and a business mentor here at SCORE Fairfield County, and I'll be your host. The webinar is being done in collaboration with the Southern Connecticut Black Chamber of Commerce and the Greater Bridgeport Opportunities Industrialization Center. I'm delighted to turn over for opening remarks to Diana Washington from the Connecticut Black Chamber of Commerce. Go ahead, Diana, with your comments.
Good morning. On behalf of the Southern Connecticut Black Chamber, I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us this morning. I wanted to just give you a little bit about the chamber. We are a small business networking organization servicing small minority and women-owned businesses with workshops, free access to contract bids, and MBE certification. Our goal is to make sure that our businesses are aware of all the resources that are out there to help your business get to the next level. We're also proud to say that we are part of the SBA Navigator program, which is designed to work with all businesses located in underrepresented, representative, and underserved communities to make sure that they know about the wonderful programs the SBA has to offer and the assistance that they can give their programs. I am going to put the Chamber's contact information in the chat box, so feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call if there's something we can help you with. Again, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Diana, and for the sponsorship of the Southern Connecticut Black Chamber of Commerce. Our speaker today is Jesse Samberg. More on our speaker in just a minute. First, some brief information on SCORE. SCORE is an all-volunteer organization with about 230 offices, over 10,000 volunteers nationally. We are part of the Small Business Administration. Here in Fairfield County, there are over 100 volunteers with a wide range of industry, process, and subject matter expertise. We offer 3 primary value-added services to small business owners. Number 1, free one-on-one counseling, face-to-face, telephone, email, or video, which can be accessed via the Request Mentor link on our website or via the link on the screen. Number 2, educational in-person workshops and live webinars, about 100 per year. And third, we have extensive resources on our website, including a network of subject matter experts, pre-recorded webinars, templates, and all sorts of extensive information to help your business. Some information about today's event. If you have a question, we ask that you use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. We will do Q&A toward the end of this presentation, and all of your questions, we will work to answer those questions. So put the questions into the Q&A section at the bottom of the screen. Our workshop will end at 1 p.m. to respect your time. We are recording this webinar, and the link to the recording will be available at fairfieldcounty.score.org within the next couple of days. Now our speaker. I am delighted to introduce Jesse Samberg. He is the founder of Third Act, a growth consultancy that builds value for small businesses through new marketing or operational practices. Before Third Act, Jesse led business development efforts for global marketing agencies like Publicis and Invisible North, capturing $100 million in new revenue from the Fortune 1000 and beyond. Jesse now works with owners, founders, C-suite executives, and marketing leaders. He has managed cross-functional teams to deliver strategic solutions to their business challenges and sharpened his ability to capitalize on growth opportunities. He is a lifelong history major and graduate of Franklin and Marshall College. Jesse spends his free time mentoring through SCORE and building a never quite finished walking trail in upstate New York with his wife and dog. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Jesse, and I'm turning it over to you. Go ahead, please, Jesse.
Thank you so much, Peter, and thank you so much to Diana and the Black Chamber of Commerce. It is a true pleasure to be here today and share a little bit about, my experience and hopefully some lessons that all of us can take into the future for our own businesses as it relates to strategic partnerships. Before we get into it, I did want to clarify today that partnerships can be a broad term, and the focus of today is going to be on partnerships with your company and another company, not in terms of forming, let's say, an LLC, an LLP, or any sort of business partnership of that nature. So with that said, let's get started. Let me get into the presentation mode here. As Peter mentioned, it is through SCORE that I am here today. SCORE is a terrific organization that I joined in 2022 at the end of the year, and I have found an incredible amount of value in the organization. As Peter mentioned, there is a wide range of services that SCORE offers, including one-on-one business mentoring, educational workshops and webinars like the one we're having today, and a library of resources you can access at your own pace online. In terms of what we're going to cover today, I want to give you a little bit more information about my background and what we're going to cover here. Talk a little bit about what the value of partnerships can do for small businesses, a few different types of partnerships, how to structure a win-win partnership for you and your business and your potential business partner. And then I want to do a live exercise with you all to give you a head start and some practical tips on how to create some partnerships of your own. So using the chat functionality towards the back half of the presentation, I'm going to give you a couple guided prompts and ask you to spend a couple minutes thinking about some of your responses, and would love to hear from you in the chat. We can discuss them a little bit more in that section of the presentation, along with the Q&A at the end. Anybody who has any questions throughout the presentation, please use the chat function or the Q&A area to share those questions so that the group can see and we can get to them towards the back of the presentation. So as Peter mentioned, a little bit about me here. I'm currently running Third Act, which is a growth consultancy focused on small businesses who are looking to grow or want to grow their valuation before a sale. In a previous life, I worked at a number of global marketing and advertising agencies based here in New York City, companies like Publicis Worldwide, Invisible North, Night After Night. And it was a really great opportunity for me to see so many different aspects of what goes into not just the sales and marketing process, but also how to connect to the right audiences. And importantly for today, how to build teams and solutions for clients or for ourselves that solve business challenges that we might not be able to solve on our own. Despite working at one of the largest agencies in New York, over 1,000 people at Publicis just in the New York office, 10,000 people worldwide, part of an 80,000 person global media network, you would be surprised at how often you have to pull in outside resources. And over the course of my 11 plus years leading business development and working with different companies across the Fortune 1000 or well-capitalized startups, it was always essential that we could provide a complete and holistic solution for our clients' needs. To do that, I would often form cross-functional teams composed of people from client services, strategy, creative, technology, production, and go-to-market teams to really create that well-rounded solution and fill in any missing gaps that my single agency team might not be able to pull from. That could include partnering with experts from across our own network of companies or pulling in partners for specific services or specific needs as they arose. The ability to understand where you have an advantage and where you might have a need that can be filled through a partnership allowed me to have a good lens on how to pull in wins from companies across a wide range of sectors through technology companies like Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, healthcare companies like Abbott Nutrition, automotive companies like Cadillac, D2C companies like Trojan Condoms, alcohol brands like Jameson and Pernod Ricard's portfolio, and a host of other clients that I can't get into right now for the sake of time. Lastly, I did want to touch again on the importance of SCORE here. I think SCORE has been an incredible resource for me personally as I've looked to transition from a more working within a larger team context to being a practitioner of my own small business. And it's a constant reminder in the work that I do through mentorship, as well as working with the great volunteers from across SCORE's nationwide organization, an incredible network of partners like the Black Chamber of Commerce, for example, to just see the breadth of the offering that exists and to open your eyes to the possibilities that can be found through partnerships. So what can partnerships do? Well, I think this quote is helpful to just understand the value that partnership has held in society outside of business for a long time. I appreciate this quote from Darwin because he's been right about a few things in the past, and I think it's wise to learn some lessons from history. The key part here to focus on is that those who have learned to collaborate and improvise effectively have been the ones to prevail. In the business context, again, recognizing that small businesses face a similar set of challenges to each other, it's important to recognize these challenges and understand that they're not insurmountable. While they may be a daily struggle or a challenge in annual planning, understanding where your limitations are and where you might need help can allow you to formulate the right types of plans to partner with companies or service providers that can fill gaps for you. Frequent issues for small businesses include a lack of time and resources, the ability to retain top talent, skill gaps that might be missing from terms of critical service delivery, especially in the realm of technology. Sales can often be a challenge in terms of lead generation or finding the right audiences that you want to connect to, or finding the right value in those audiences. Marketing is another frequent challenge, from the ability to actually execute marketing to the strategic know-how to create a campaign that would be relevant for your goals, such as acquisition or customer retention. It's important to recognize that we are not all marketers. We are not all salespeople. We are not all technologists. We are not all HR people. But as small business owners, we wear many hats. And we have the advantage of being able to recognize, if we let ourselves, that there are options for us to find great partners in our ecosystem that can help us hit our goals. So for small businesses, partnerships can really help you unlock some superpowers. They can do things like expand your reach into new customer bases. They can help you gain new customers through sales channels or distribution channels that you didn't have before. You can offset or reduce the costs in terms of finding specific preferred suppliers, or you can become in a single supplier relationship that gives you an advantage over key competitors. You can also share in the cost to create marketing assets or the cost for paid media to distribute those assets. And most importantly, partnerships can help you increase revenue without adding to cost centers. Now, I want to talk a little bit about 4 specific types of partnerships today. It's not going to be an exhaustive list. I'm sure there are some other ones in here, but in my experience, these are some of the most common ones that you'll find for businesses. I'm going to talk a little bit in this section about supplier partnerships, technology partnerships, channel partnerships, and co-marketing, or sometimes called co-branding partnerships. And in each of these areas, I want to touch on some of the benefits that you can find as a small business for these types of partnerships, as well as some concrete examples that you might be able to point to in the future to help you understand the way that these partnerships get formed. Starting with supplier partnerships. This can be an interesting area to focus on for companies. of all different types. For example, from a benefit standpoint, if you are a small business that works in the restaurant industry, a supplier partnership can be important to help you ensure the quality of products or service providers that you're relying on to get to your end customers, those diners. They can also help ensure the reliability of the delivery of those goods and services at the right time. And they can help you lock in preferential pricing. But let's say, for example, like the great notion that Diana brought up at the beginning of this presentation around a supplier relationship as a diverse supplier. In my own practice in the advertising world, oftentimes companies have DEI commitments that they're looking to fulfill, and they want to award contracts to companies or suppliers who work with subcontractors who have a specific commitment in terms of a diversity quotient. Now, working through a group like Diana's, the Black Chamber of Commerce, they can help guide you towards getting the right certifications that can position your company to get access to opportunities that you wouldn't find in other areas. So I wanted to make sure that we touched on that aspect of partnerships as well, because I think, the representative images on here lean a little bit towards the farm to table restaurant industry here. That's not to say it's exclusively the realm of restaurant industry when it comes to supplier partnerships. You can be a diverse supplier when it comes to providing photography services in an advertising campaign, or editing services as part of doing something in post-production. You can be a diverse supplier when it comes to manufacturing. You don't have to be an onshore or offshore manufacturer to qualify, although that would certainly help with a lot of American companies if you are working onshore. And to finalize for here on this page, one that I think we've all probably seen has been the long-standing strategic alliance between Coca-Cola and McDonald's. I would wager to guess that most of us have not seen a Pepsi product in McDonald's in a long time. And if we do, it's certainly not the main Pepsi soda, it's some of their non-carbonated drinks. So you can see the power of a long-lasting supplier relationship in that strategic alliance that Coca-Cola and McDonald's formed way back in the 50s and 60s that they've carried through to today. And they've created a very strong organizational partnership around that. Switching gears into technology partnerships, some of the benefits that you can find here are to lower the technical barriers to entry for your own company. Let's say that you are a HVAC company or a services-based business that doesn't rely necessarily on technology, but you would like to be better about understanding more about your customer base and how you can use all of the information that customers are giving you to be better at marketing or to be more diligent about following up on leads. Working with a technology partner can help you to fill these critical gaps for yourself while also expanding your brand's awareness and reach into new channels that you would otherwise not have access to or would have to pay to reach those audiences. Here on the left, you can see some examples of how common sites like Squarespace or Shopify, which is how a lot of small businesses conduct business on the internet these days, have a marketplace of technology providers that they offer as connected services or service partners or certified app partners. These can help entrepreneurs or small business owners fulfill specific needs that they may not be experts in. So for example, using a technical development team that you find on one of these marketplaces to partner on designing your web store or designing your e-com store. They can help you to create and utilize a app-based marketplace or utilize what's called an application programming interface to reach more customers just through a couple lines of code. And again, this doesn't necessarily rely on you, the small business owner who is not an expert in this sort of technical development. You're looking to create a partnership with that expert and to find the mutual value that you can bring to each other. Thinking about channel partnerships, the main benefits for channel partnerships are to increase your distribution, your sales, and your brand awareness. Channels can mean a couple things, but think of it almost like the way that you as a individual would consume media, for example, television. If you're not interested in one program, you're flipping to another channel. If you're not interested in a YouTube video, you might skip to the next one. Just like as in entertainment with those channels, there's different channels for sales, there's different channels for marketing, different platforms, different points of retail versus e-com. But I wanted to focus here on a few concrete examples in terms of sales and distribution channels, and then the ability to use those places like physical retail locations to increase brand awareness. So here on the left, we have an example of a direct-to-consumer brand that started out with no physical footprint, a company called Casper. As they grew over time and reached a large number of people on the internet in their initial round of marketing campaigns, they realized that they had probably reached about as many people as they were going to reach for a cost-effective amount of money, and they decided that they needed to find physical retail location space. They partnered with Target to open up a new channel partnership to be featured in Target stores. And as you can see here, it gives them point of sale real estate within the store that is negotiated as part of their agreement with Target to be sold and stocked in the retailer. You can also see this taking place with tons of different celebrity brands these days that Target, Walmart, and many other retailers partner with to bring those brands into their retail locations and give the business owners the opportunity for new sales and distribution channels, as well as for the channel partner, Target or Walmart in this case, to draft off the powerful equity that companies like Chip and Joanna Gaines have built over time. A few other examples of channel partnerships could be a managed IT provider who is certified in Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure Cloud, providing support for other businesses. Or in a more direct to consumer sense, you can think of a channel partnership in the form of using affiliate marketers or using influencers, even in some cases, who would, in return for reviewing a product or promoting a service, drive conversion through links that they're posting on their own channels on behalf of your company. And in return for that, they receive a portion of the revenue negotiated as part of that affiliate deal. Lastly, I wanted to talk a little bit about co-marketing or co-branding partnerships. This is probably the area that I have the most familiarity with in my time from advertising and marketing agencies. And it was a common tactic that we would employ when putting together solutions for our clients. Part of the reason is that it helps to reduce the costs of any single organization to create a marketing campaign or to buy the media that would help to reach a larger audience beyond the brand's own organic customer base. It also helps to expand the customer reach and get new leads depending on the different platforms and channels and points of intersection that each company has with its customers. For example, within an app environment on Spotify and Starbucks partnership. If you're paying for Spotify Premium, they had partnered with Starbucks to give you the opportunity to receive benefits by being a member of just one program rather than joining both programs. That allows both companies to grow their awareness and to co-market to each other's audiences to expand their reach and find new leads and open up new opportunities to upsell those customers. A couple other examples here that are interesting to focus on could be, let's say, two services businesses that don't directly compete with each other who would cross-promote to each other's marketing lists via email or perhaps on Facebook to promote a discounted spring cleaning. Could also do this offer by mail. Talked a little bit about membership programs. An example here would be Target Circle members, Target's own membership program, getting 3 free months of Apple TV or Apple Music or discounts on Ulta Beauty products just for signing up for the membership program. Amazon Prime members get a lot of these benefits, but because of the way that Amazon works, they have created their own version of a monopoly co-marketing partnership where they market their own services and products. Very nice for Amazon. Couple other quick examples here that you can see on the left would be a splashy partnership to try to gain some buzz by drafting off of a movie launch for a Yankee Candlestick company. Or you have down here in the bottom right, how an investment newsletter would allow a financial advisory company to sponsor their newsletter in order to reach a very specific targeted audience that they share in common. Anybody with any questions, I encourage you to please put them into the Q&A or the chat. Would love to get to them. I see a couple in there already, but I want to make sure that we keep going. So wanted to talk about how to set up some win-win partnerships. First, where do you and how do you look for partners? Well, a lot of this is going to sound like, yeah, of course. And that's because it is. A lot of the work to find good quality partners involves putting in the legwork, putting in a lot of outreach, networking, relationship building, leveraging assets and great organizations like chambers of commerce, economic development corporations, local governments. SCORE, great opportunity to find partners and get advice on where to look for businesses that would be complementary to your own. If you are in a specific industry and know that you would like to partner with companies in that industry or in adjacent industries, attending industry-specific events, whether they're national or regional events, is a great way to find prospects. Seeking referrals through ex-clients or friends and family is another opportunity. Doing some social media reach outs, whether that's directly messaging people of desire or whether that is participating in groups that are relevant to the partners you're looking for and trying to add helpful value, or even just starting to comment and warm up those prospects before you reach out to them with a concrete offer. And lastly, another way you can think about attracting partners rather than doing the work of outreaching directly to partners is you can try to become a content creator or a thought leader with a specific audience in mind. So for example, let's say that you are seeking a partner to fulfill on a technology need that you have as a services business. And you are interested in finding that technology partner, but you're not sure where to look. One thing that you can do is to use your own channels or use channels like LinkedIn that allow you to promote beyond your own channels to create helpful content that would be specifically seeking out the type of partner you're looking for. An example of which would be, I'm making this up on the fly, but let's say that you're that services business who services hundreds of customers every year in your market, but you're missing the key solution to finding the way to connect online data that customers are giving you when they fill out a form with your sales team's information that they're getting manually on phone calls. If you're creating a specific piece of content, in this case, let's just call it a targeted post where you are asking for someone to help you solve this problem, you would be surprised at the volume of leads you will generate from people looking to solve that exact problem for a business. So I would encourage everyone here to think about all of the different avenues that are available to you and then utilize as many of them as you can. It's not a one size fits all. You may find that some work better for you than others, but it's important to try things out. And if you're feeling stuck, one thing that's been helpful for me over the last year is to brainstorm potential partners, even potential content themes using free AI tools like ChatGPT or Claude. These can give you the ability to use the beautiful perspective of the machine, which has been trained on all of our human data over time, to understand where there might be places for you to start. It's not going to be a one size fits all, and you shouldn't take it all at face value, but it can help you certainly get unstuck and out of phase one and get you moving into a more phase two refinement area where you can then take that information and make it your own. So now that we talked a little bit about where and how to look for partners, I really want to talk about what makes a partnership valuable. To find a valuable partnership, one thing that's critical is seeking complementary partners. You as a business owner have your own goals. So do your partners. Sometimes those goals intersect, sometimes they don't. What's important is going to be finding a non-competitor partner that can fill a gap for you and you can provide a valuable service or fill a valuable gap for them. That could be as simple as one company is providing a technology solution in return for a portion of profit, or one company is sharing leads with another company because they hit the same area codes and don't compete with each other. It's important to be clear about what you as the business owner are able to commit to and what you can't. Specifically, it's important for you to do some upfront thinking about what is the amount of time and financial power that you're able to commit to a partnership, so that you can go into any partnership negotiation being clear-eyed about what's important to you for your goals and what will be important for you to not compromise on to hit those goals. And again, one through line that's in every great partnership is building on providing mutual benefit and on a foundation of trust. These are the essential bedrocks for every great partnership. I think we can all recognize times in our lives where we felt like one side of a partnership or one side of a group wasn't holding up their end of the bargain, or wasn't putting in the right amount of effort, or didn't feel like it was a commensurate amount of effort. And it's really important that you see the work that you're doing reciprocated in your partner. It may not be in terms of a physical lift or in terms of an amount of time or effort, but value is subjective, and understanding what is valuable to your partner is important. And you can understand that by building and cultivating trust through open and frequent communication. Partnerships can be scary to embark on. So one thing I would recommend for anybody who's just starting out is to think about what is a small pilot or experiment partnership that you can run. A very small example here would be, to go back to that HVAC and roofing company, those are complementary businesses. The roofing company likely doesn't touch anything inside the house unless they need to, vice versa for the HVAC company, unless they're putting something like a heat pump or an AC unit on the outside of the house. Personally, I've seen the HVAC company and the roofing company pass each other in my driveway. And it would be an interesting proposition if the two of those companies got together to share leads based on what they know about the homeowner's house and their need state. That's a pretty small example of how to get started, given that both companies are already sending their field estimators out, and they could easily be sharing information with each other to give both companies a leg up in terms of upsell opportunities and cross-promotional opportunities. What makes successful partnerships? Well, really successful partnerships clearly outline each party's roles, responsibilities, and KPIs, key performance indicators. In that example I just gave, a written agreement would be important between those two companies to clarify that company A, the roofing company, is going to provide company B, the HVAC company, with leads only. If there's anything beyond the leads, it would be important to note down what are the essentials of how this partnership would function. How is everyone contributing in terms of a time spent on the job? Are they estimating for their own company, or are they estimating for both companies? Are they merely passing along a lead, or are they doing more work that takes away from their core job that you as the business owner looking to create a partnership are already paying someone to do? So it's essential that you're very clear about what role you and your company's employees will play on your side of the partnership, and vice versa. Being transparent and openly and frequently communicating will make every partnership easier to troubleshoot and work through the challenges that are inevitable in all business partnerships. If you have a foundation of mutual trust, it is easy to overcome these things because you know the goals you are working towards and you know what you are willing to commit to get to them. Similarly, agreeing upon key milestones in advance, such as the creation of a roadmap for the successful implementation of your partnership within specific timeframes, is also very helpful. It gives everyone a strategic document to map back to and is a crystal clear map of when and how things will take place to fulfill and execute on the partnership. And again, all the best partnerships create mutually beneficial value that may not work out to be an equal amount of dollars or time put in, but it will be valuable for each company because it hits their goals that they are looking to accomplish. And I think it's also important to mention here that the best partnerships do not eat into your profit margin, your operating costs, or your limited time. Keeping in mind your own goals and the ability of your team to hit them within a limited time and budget is so essential in any great partnership. And you as a small business leader must keep an eye on this. It's great that you're looking to outsource some of the areas that you might not be experts in to hit your goals, but completely abdicating the responsibility as a small business owner by turning it over to a partner is also not the answer. So it's important that you keep a close eye on the partnerships. And if you're not managing directly, you are managing someone who is managing that partnership and has a clear sense of your company's exact needs and commitments that they're able to put into it to make it a success and not drag down your company's mission and cut into your finances. Now, I wanted to share a sample partnership structure that I've been able to create for my own business. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the goals for it and the context of it and why it works for both parties. Due to a lot of frequent client demand, I see a need for clients asking me for SEO help on their websites. My area of expertise is not SEO, but I know that my company can be more valuable if it can provide a truly holistic digital marketing solution that encompasses SEO, which, just to clarify, if anyone's not familiar, is search engine optimization, which allows you to be more discoverable by your prospective audiences on the internet. For my business, it's important to me that I be able to at least offer these services from a trusted provider if I'm not able to do them myself. And so I sought out an SEO agency who would be interested in working with a strategic partner who has more upstream conversations than the conversations they're typically having with clients who come to them with a very specific need at a very specific moment in time. Essentially, they're looking for bigger, longer engagement clients that they can also grow with. So to set up this partnership, it's fairly straightforward. On my side, Third Act provides referrals for clients who have specific SEO-based needs. And my company is responsible sometimes for managing that client end to end, including overseeing the SEO agency's work and making sure it is also working towards hitting the client's ultimate goals. But I also trust my partner enough to let them have client conversations on their own. And I understand that they're working in the best interest of my client, the best interest of our partnership, and the best interest of their company, which in terms of the value that we're creating for each other is a mutually beneficial one. For me, again, I can offer a more holistic solution to my clients, and I can create value for the SEO agency by referring them higher ticket clients than they typically see. For me, from a financial side of things, I get a 30% of that total engagement fee paid by the client to the SEO agency. For the SEO agency, you can see here the value that they get, which is to see 70% of a deal that they otherwise would potentially never have seen before. And the value that they create is to perform reliable value-added services for me, the non-expert partner, which helps to position me as a more complete digital solution to my clients. Now, I want to spend a little bit of time giving you all the chance to think about some of the things you just learned and your own businesses. And I want you to start trying to get in the mindset of how would you create a new partnership for yourself? Thinking about your own business for a minute, considering your goals, along with any challenges you might be facing to hit them right now. I'd like you to write down anywhere you want, could be on a notepad, could be on your computer, 3 challenges you're facing in your business. There's no right or wrong answers here, but here's some questions to help you think about it. Am I spending too much on getting the right leads? Does my business struggle to stay price competitive? Is there a lack of skills holding back the growth of my company? Take a couple minutes here, and I'd love for everybody, if they're comfortable, to share some things in the chat. You can share one, you can share more than one, but I'm curious to see what you guys are thinking of and how common everyone's challenges are between them. We're going to do a couple versions of these across the following slides, and then we're going to have some time for some Q&A and to discuss some of these. So take a couple minutes here, and then I'll move on in about 2 to 3 minutes. Peter, I feel like we need some interstitial hold music.
Well, we don't have that handy, but I will pass quickly.
Jan, that's great. I love that. Jan's sharing that he used ChatGPT for his notary startup business to help start finding a complementary list of potential partners. And he said it got a great response to give him some ideas on where to start marketing. Love it, Jan. I'm going to give everyone about another minute here, and then I want to move on. If anyone else is feeling brave and wants to put any responses in the chat, would love to see them. Thanks, Rambam, for sharing. And Chris, it's great. Thank you, Nefertiti and Burton. That's great, everyone. Thank you. I think, there's some clear commonalities that we're already seeing here just in terms of resource constraints, identifying the right partners so as not to make a mistake in terms of going with a dishonest or unreputable partner, making sure that marketing efforts are going towards the right audience. Thank you, Desmond. I see Eli is talking about social media presence. Absolutely. It's important in this day and age. Some great responses here. Thanks, everyone. So moving on, I want you to now think about the challenges you just wrote down, and I want you to start thinking about 3 businesses you feel are complementary to your own. We had a great start from Jan over here, who was helpfully sharing how he used ChatGPT to find partners for his notary startup business. So for everyone else here, again, no right or wrong answers, but some things to keep in mind as you're thinking are keeping your goals in mind. What are your goals in working together with this partner? Are you trying to find better quality leads, improve pricing, new distribution channels? Is this business actually a competitor or a threat versus complementary? What do they do that you don't or might not want to? What services or products do they offer that your customers also use or would benefit from? Take a couple minutes here. Feel free to drop anything in the chat, and then we got one more before we get into some Q&A. And G, thank you for sharing that. I'm sorry to hear that it didn't work out on that partnership. I'm sure you learned some valuable lessons there, unfortunately. Rambam, I can't speak to ChatGPT in the lawsuit, but it is important to protect your own IP. That is for sure. And G, more leads, absolutely always a common problem. Thanks, Connie. Nefertiti, this is great. Jan, this is great. Love it, NG. Thank you. All right, everyone, maybe another 30 seconds here and then going to move on to the last one. All right, so you've now thought through some of those challenges that you might be facing and some potential options for partners to help you overcome them. Keeping in mind that the best partnerships are those where each business brings their own unique value to the table, how would you make it a win-win with your potential partner? Try to jot down 3 ways you can provide value. Again, no right or wrong answers. Here's some questions to help guide you think through it. Are your prospects and leads that you're currently getting valuable to your potential partner? Do you have a relationship with a particular supplier or channel partner that you can offer access to that this partner doesn't have? Do you have a specific skill that could be upsold or packaged in addition to your partner's existing services? Let's take 2 minutes here and then everybody feel free to share any responses. And then I want to take a minute just to show you how to turn this into some practical outreach before we get into the Q&A. I know how hard it can be to talk about the value that we provide other businesses or customers as small business owners. Can give everyone another minute here and then move along. All right, so thanks everyone for going through that exercise. I appreciate it. I know it's not always easy to think about yourself and your business in a quick, unexpected way, but I'm glad to see all the responses so far. I wanted to make sure that this presentation leaves you with some practical ways to move forward with partnership opportunities. So building off of what you've seen today and the work you just did, you should now have a more solid foundation for approaching some potential partners. Using what you already wrote down today, you can quickly turn these notes into an outreach email, a direct message, a social post, a phone script, anything you want, really, to reach out to companies of desire to you with an attractive and mutually beneficial partnership. Here's a quick sample outreach of something that's based on the examples I've been sharing in this presentation so far. So going back to that HVAC and roofing partnership, those are 2 complementary businesses, right? Quick subject line, directly asking what we want to do here, open to cross-promoting with my HVAC company. Say hello, let them know why you're reaching out, see if they're open to a partnership opportunity. We service hundreds of homes in the same zip codes as you every year and get a surprising amount of questions about gutter cleaning. This is a very straightforward articulation of the amount of customers you're seeing in an area where this partner of yours is also servicing clients. So there's some natural synergy there. And then you're saying to this business owner you're looking to partner with, I have an opportunity for you. I am getting questions that I do not service, but your company does. All you're asking for in this stage is to have a conversation and understand if there's an opportunity for a mutually beneficial partnership. You are not going to know just yet what the value of each lead is to those customers. You're not going to know yet what the value is going to be in creating a relationship, but you have to start somewhere. And this is a great way for you to just have an open conversation that is clear about your ask, and then work through the details if it makes sense from hitting your business's goals and helping to create value for your business partner who would be creating value for your business as well. With that, I'd love to open it up for some questions. Anybody is welcome to keep dropping them in. I know there's been some in the Q&A already. Peter, did you want to help moderate it? How did you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll be happy to. So let's go with the first question that came in. How much time should I plan it said, how much time should I plan for to avoid all the self-promotion? So can you talk about promotion and self-promotion and how you kind of view that?
Yes. So if I understand correctly, is the question about self-promotion in terms of marketing your business?
Let's go down that path, Jesse.
Okay, sure. So there's no right or wrong answer here, to be honest with you. If your business is struggling to generate leads, or your business is struggling to attract people to your products or services, it likely means that you're either not looking at the right audience, or you're not hitting them with a message at the right time or with the right content. So in terms of breaking down an amount of time, there is really no right or wrong answer here, unless your business is suffering from a lack of customers or a lack of effective marketing, in which case, since all businesses need customers, I would say that you should be spending a good amount of time promoting your business in that case. In terms of a split in a day, if from an operational standpoint, you normally spend 50% of your time running the business and 50% of the time on sales, marketing, or strategy planning for your business, and you're not feeling like that 50% of sales, marketing, and strategy planning is getting you towards your goals, then I would say it's worth rethinking the amount of time that you're devoting, or rethinking the way that you are approaching those three areas. It might be worth considering bringing in an outside expert who could offer you some different perspective on how to reach the right audiences and how to better structure your business in terms of the amount of time that it spends on specific activities like self-promotion and marketing, or investing in evergreen assets that would give you the ability to spend less time in the long run on marketing, because these assets, once created and once put in front of the right audiences, can live for a long time and attract leads on your behalf.
Thank you very much. Let's go to another question. I know what to do, but I'm a solopreneur and can't get to everything. I work on getting more exposure, but then can't create sites to list services and finish creating more services. So it goes back to the question of time and priorities. Can you talk about that a little bit, please?
Absolutely. This is a great question. And I think, again, this is such a common challenge that so many of us face. Even in my own work, I find this to be a challenge all the time. There's only so many hours in the day. Getting exposure, and from what it looks like the question is here, creating websites to promote the brand, you the brand, or you the company, the brand, is certainly important. It's one tactic that you can take to grow awareness of your company's products and services and make customers aware of what you do and give them opportunities for contacting you or for conducting commerce with you, if let's say you're an e-com store, for example. But we're not all experts in everything. And I started off a lot of this presentation covering the fact that small business owners inherently face these challenges all the time. There are so many tools that are out there these days to allow us to not cheat, but get a leg up in terms of adding to our skill sets in ways that we didn't think were possible even a year ago. I'm going to point again to some AI-enabled tools. This time, for example, on Squarespace and Shopify. Those are two of the most common development platforms for small business owners or solo entrepreneurs to create websites to market themselves or list their products and services. Those companies over time, and especially in this last year, have enhanced their product offering to really deliver AI-enabled templated tools that allow you to build websites based on only a few words of inputs very quickly. Now, these sites are not going to be perfect. You're going to need to massage them. You're going to probably have some design changes that you want to make, but they're largely drag and drop based, and they're fairly simple to create at this point, even for those who have very little experience in them. And of course, if you're feeling uncomfortable with that aspect or in the promotional aspect once it's created, part of what I wanted everyone to take away from this today is that we do not need to be experts in everything as small business owners. In fact, it benefits us to understand where we are not experts and where we have the leverage to use partnerships to fill in those gaps in expertise. Now, I understand also there are certainly budget constraints, but I want everyone to be open-minded about partnerships. Partnerships can be very wide-ranging. So for example, in a co-marketing partnership looking to promote a website, I think there are opportunities to think about how you would use the other business partners' skills to get you where you'd like to go as well. So for example, if you're co-promoting a list of shared services or products that you've worked on with another company, if that company is great at web design, let their team create the website, but you can still have access to it. You can still drive people to it. You can still monitor the effectiveness of that site. This is something that I would encourage people to take a good look at your goals that you're trying to hit, where you have gaps that are preventing you from hitting them, and then going through that exercise that we did today to find those complementary partners that can help you get to those goals in a cost-effective manner that allows you both to build value and realize the value from the relationship.
Very good. We have time for one more question in a couple minutes we have left. So a question from another one of our listeners. My existing work is in financial services, and per compliance, I'm required to offer 3 names if a client asks for a referral, for example, an attorney. Mm-hmm. How does one create partnerships where you cannot discuss or have mutual goals?
So if I understand the question correctly, I think, what you're saying here is oftentimes we can't necessarily, in some cases, point to the great work or partners that we have due to non-disclosure agreements or confidentiality agreements. That's reasonable. And I think that the way around that is you don't list it on a website. You do something like references are available upon request, and then you create that relationship with those references on a personal level, with the understanding that you are going to list them for specific purposes to help you, and you can return them some sort of value that would be important to them, whether it's serving as a reference for them or whether it is helping them in another area that you have an expertise in that they do not, or even any sort of in-kind service that you can provide that would be a way to demonstrate that you are invested in the relationship. I'm not 100% sure that I answered that question correctly based on the way I understood it. So let me know if there's any more clarity I can provide there, though.
So how can people get a hold of you, Jesse, if they have some follow-up questions?
Absolutely. I am always available down here on the contact page. You can go to the website, gettthirdact.com. You can email me directly at jesse@gettthirdact.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn. Jesse Samberg is my profile name. And I would be delighted to speak with any of you about your challenges at any time.
Well, thank you very much, Jesse. As a reminder, a recording of this webinar and the materials will be available within a couple of days on the fairfieldcounty.score.org website. Please check that website for information on upcoming webinars and in-person events. Again, SCORE offers free individual counseling, so please use the link on the screen or visit our website and click Request a Mentor. We are available for sessions via phone, email, or video. We'd also very much appreciate if you would fill out the evaluations that will be sent to you at the end of the webinar. On behalf of SCORE, I'd like to thank you all for attending today's webinar. In closing, a big thank you to Diana and the Black Chamber of Commerce for your sponsorship, Jesse for your presentation, and we wish all of you a great day. That concludes our webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you again, Peter and Diana and the Black Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you so much.